Rosalind Franklin, the unsung hero of DNA. Imagine discovering the very structure of life itself and having someone else get the Nobel Prize for it. Rosalind Franklin was a pioneering X-ray crystallographer in the 1950s. She captured the famous Photo 51, which revealed the double helix structure of DNA. But her work was secretly shared with James Watson and Francis Crick, without her knowledge or permission. They used her data to build their DNA model and later won the Nobel Prize. Franklin? She was barely mentioned. She died at age 37, never knowing how critical her research was to modern genetics. Today, scientists around the world recognize her as the true unsung hero of molecular biology. Mary Anning, the fossil hunter who rocked paleontology. Long before dinosaurs were cool, Mary Anning was out on the cliffs of England, hammering into rocks and rewriting history. In the early 1800s, she discovered the first full ichthyosaur skeleton, a prehistoric marine reptile, at just 12 years old. She also found the first complete plesiosaur and contributed heavily to early paleontology. But because she was a poor woman in a male-dominated scientific world, she wasn't allowed to publish or join scientific societies. In fact, many of her discoveries were published under other people's names. Even Charles Darwin admired her work, yet history almost forgot her entirely. Only recently has Mary Anning been recognized as one of the founding figures of modern paleontology. Henrietta Lacks, the immortal woman who never knew. Henrietta Lacks was an African-American woman treated for cervical cancer in 1951. Doctors at Johns Hopkins took a sample of her cells without her knowledge or consent. Those cells didn't die like normal cells. They kept multiplying, becoming the first immortal human cell line. They're known today as HeLa cells, and they've been used in almost every major medical breakthrough since. From the polio vaccine to cancer research to COVID-19. Yet for decades, her family had no idea. They never gave permission and never received a penny in compensation. Today, Henrietta Lacks's legacy lives in labs around the world, but her story remains a sobering reminder of how medical ethics failed her. Nikola Tesla, the electric genius, overshadowed by Edison. You've probably heard of Thomas Edison, but it was Nikola Tesla who truly electrified the world. Tesla was a Serbian-American inventor who pioneered alternating current, AC, the safer, more efficient rival to Edison's direct current, DC. He also developed radio technology before Marconi, imagined wireless power, and even proposed a global wireless network, basically Wi-Fi, over a century ago. But Tesla was eccentric, soft-spoken, and hated business. Edison, on the other hand, was ruthless and well-connected. While Edison became a global icon, Tesla died alone and broke in a New York hotel room. Today, Tesla is finally gaining the recognition he deserves, with a car company and a unit of magnetic flux named after him. But during his lifetime, he was a forgotten genius. Ada Lovelace, the first computer programmer in 1843. Before computers even existed, Ada Lovelace imagined how they could be used for more than just math. She was the daughter of the poet Lord Byron, but her real love was logic and numbers. In 1843, she wrote a set of notes on Charles Babbage's analytical engine, a proposed mechanical computer. Her notes included what's now considered the first computer algorithm, making her the world's first programmer. But because she was a woman in the Victorian era, her contributions were ignored for over a century. Only recently has Ada Lovelace been celebrated as a visionary who saw the future of computing before anyone else. Today, she's known as the mother of computer science, long overdue recognition for a mind far ahead of her time. Ignaz Semmelweis, the doctor who said, "Wash your hands." In the 1840s, Hungarian doctor Ignaz Semmelweis made a shocking discovery. Doctors were going from autopsies straight to delivering babies, without washing their hands. As a result, thousands of women were dying from childbed fever. Semmelweis introduced strict hand washing with antiseptic and saw death rates plummet. But instead of being praised, he was mocked, rejected, and ridiculed by the medical community. Many doctors were insulted by the idea that they could be spreading disease. Eventually, Semmelweis was committed to an asylum, where he died, possibly after being beaten, at just 47 years old. Only years later, Louis Pasteur and Joseph Lister proved him right. Today, he's hailed as the savior of mothers, but he died unknown and broken. Katherine Johnson, the hidden human computer behind NASA's greatest missions. When NASA sent astronauts into space, one woman made sure they got there and came back, safely. Katherine Johnson, a black female mathematician, calculated the trajectory for Alan Shepard's spaceflight and John Glenn's orbital mission. She was so trusted that Glenn himself said, "Get the girl to check the numbers." But because of her race and gender, she was hidden behind the scenes, working in a segregated office away from the spotlight. For decades, her role in America's space race was left out of history books. Only recently did the world discover her story, thanks to the film Hidden Figures. Today, Katherine Johnson is finally recognized as one of the key minds that helped land a man on the moon. Which one surprised you most? Let us know in the comments.